Clinton, she testified today in front of Congress members. They actually went to meet her in New York, I think this is upstate New York, just outside of New York City. And, Hillary telling some lies, right? So we're going to debunk some of those things. They have not released the video footage of that testimony, but I am going to show you what Hillary said after the testimony, and also, of course, her opening statement. And we're going to get started with what these representatives said during the break. There was a break here because apparently it was reported that Lauren Boebert had leaked a picture of Hillary in there testifying. Somehow that was sent to Benny Johnson, a conservative podcaster. I don't know the whole story around that, but this is what they said during that break. Check this out.
Let me just begin by saying that Oversight Democrats, from day one, we have said that we want to talk to anyone, any person with information about Jeffrey Epstein, about his crimes, about how he was able to get so much wealth. We will talk to any single person, whether that is a Democrat, a Republican, how much wealth they have, how powerful their position is. We want to talk to anyone. So we're happy to be here, and we're glad that both Secretary Clinton and former President Clinton are willing to talk to this committee. I also think it's important to note, I'm glad to see that we have our Republican colleagues here. As a big group of them, I wish they would have joined us at the Les Wexner deposition, but I'm glad that they're here now to get questions answered. That is an important part of our investigation. Let me just add that as it relates to Secretary Clinton, who's here today, she has been very clear. She's never met Jeffrey Epstein. We have no evidence of her having any interactions with Mr. Epstein. And so I think that's important to note as we walk into this deposition.
So that's the first time you hear that they never met, right? Okay, hold on to that. By the way, just because there's no evidence of people meeting each other doesn't mean that they never met. Let's continue.
But I also want to say, which I think is very important, that at this very moment, the Department of Justice continues to lead a White House cover-up. And we're going to be demanding, even over these next few days, that the remaining files that have not been released get released to the public. And that includes new files that were just discovered in the last couple days of a survivor that has made serious accusations and allegations against not just Jeffrey Epstein, but also against President Trump, and about abuse that she suffered when she was a minor.
For those who don't know, that information has been removed from the Epstein files. So they're trying to get that information back. Again, like I said, Trump says he didn't do anything wrong. If that's the case, then that information shouldn't have been removed. I think they're all lying.
We have seen the DOJ files and the archive manifest that clearly shows that the interviews and information around this survivor have been removed and are missing from the DOJ files. Where are these files? Who removed them? Those questions have to be answered. What we have is a survivor that we have verified, that others have verified, and those files are missing. It's not just those. It's an additional 50% of files that are missing. It is unconscionable. It is illegal. And Pam Bondi and the president need to answer to where those files are. And that's going to continue to drive our work, not just today, but every single day until we get justice for the survivors. I'm going to have some of our members here make a few comments as well.
So one of the things that they're basically alluding to is that it seems to be partisan driven, which I told you guys going into this. When I started talking about these files, I think it was 3 years ago, the first time I talked about Jeffrey Epstein, and it was probably about Prince. I think Prince Andrew was the first one that I covered. I kept trying to tell people then that this isn't a left-right thing. This is a class thing. People who are wealthy. This is a billionaire circle of people that were involved, with Jeffrey Epstein, whether it was through business means, whether it was through trafficking, whether it was through, criminal activities, and those who are billionaire adjacent. I mean, some people are still shocked that some of these academics, like Noam Chomsky, was close to Jeffrey Epstein. But like I said, again, it's true, you are the company that you keep. And so everybody trying to move away from Jeffrey Epstein now, because this last round of files that came out. But the reality was you guys chose to go down that road. Many of them, which I have seen, which was after Jeffrey Epstein was already charged. So Hillary Clinton did have an opening statement. I want to show you guys that statement here.
Let's just bring you a bit of an update that we're getting from this congressional hearing that's happening in New York with Hillary Clinton. Well, we've been told that it's on camera, but not being broadcast yet. But what Hillary Clinton has done is she has released her opening statement to the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee on social media. This is a two-page statement. She basically, I'll cut to the most relevant bits. She says the committee's justified its subpoena to me based on its assumption that I have information regarding the investigations into the criminal activities of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Let me be clear as I can, I do not. As I stated in my sworn declaration on January 13th, I had no idea about their criminal activities. I do not recall ever encountering Mr. Epstein. I never flew on his plane or visited his island, homes, or offices. I have nothing to add to that. Like every decent person, I've been horrified by what we've learned about their crimes. It's unfathomable that Mr. Epstein initially got a slap on the wrist in 2008, which allowed him to continue his predatory practices for another decade.
So once again, we're hearing that she never met him. Fire, I think it might be her accent. Fire said, did she just say Killery? She did, I swear. I was like...
She says, goes on to say, your investigation is supposed to be assessing the federal government's handling of investigations and prosecutions of Epstein and his crimes. You subpoenaed 8 law enforcement officials, all of whom ran the Department of Justice or directed the FBI when Epstein's crimes were investigated or prosecuted. Of those 8, only 1 appeared before the committee. You've held 0 public hearings, refused to allow the media to attend, including today, despite espousing the need for transparency. And you've made little effort to call the people who show up most prominently Epstein files. And when you did not, a single Republican member showed up for Lex Wexner's deposition. And I think...
Okay, we can go on and on and on and on for that. Yeah, it really does piss me off that some of these members of Congress are trying to make this partisan when it's clearly not. This is a class issue. If you pay attention to the money and you follow the money, which we have been doing. So let's get into this. I never met this dude, right? Okay. So here's a couple of things I want to show you. Hillary Clinton says she never met him. And you're going to see her go on to say other things too. Let me ask you a question, right? Remember this picture? Because I shared this earlier today. Now, here's Bill Clinton when he was president. That's Jeffrey Epstein. And there's Ghislaine Maxwell right over there. Now, Hillary Clinton's not in this picture, and who knows, she may not have even been in the room. But I wanted to show this picture to prove a point, right? Okay. Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House over 17 times during Bill Clinton's presidency. Over 17 times. And we're going to get into some of the Ghislaine stuff too, because I don't believe that Hillary's telling the truth. And I have some of the things from the Epstein files to show you that back that up. I don't believe that she never met him. Then we go on to Chelsea's wedding. And I think, again, how can we forget? This is when Hillary and Bill's daughter was getting married. There's Ghislaine Maxwell right there. So obviously, Hillary can't say that she never met Ghislaine Maxwell. But wait till you hear what she says when she is questioned about Ghislaine Maxwell attending Chelsea's wedding. Because like I said, everybody is trying to walk away from this dude now. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of these people, I would say all of them so far, are lying. And if you did nothing wrong, you can simply say, yes, you know, I did know him. We were friendly at a point. He donated to the Clinton Foundation. We all know Jeffrey Epstein funded the Clinton Foundation. But you don't know him. But we were not involved. I was not involved in any of his criminal activity or anything like that. That's it. And like, it's not even just her. Trump is doing the same damn thing. I didn't see him after 2004. When email and pictures clearly show otherwise. Again, if you didn't do anything wrong, what's the big deal, right? So let me pull this up here. So here comes the questions. We bring this in here.
James, Matthews from Sky News. Can I ask, why was Ghislaine Maxwell invited to her daughter Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010?
So he's asking, why was Ghislaine Maxwell at Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010? Remember, this is after Epstein got charged. So that date is significant. He got that sweetheart deal in 2008.
Maxwell invited to her daughter Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010. She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted before that.
She came as the plus one, the guest of someone who was invited.
How convenient. So let me get this straight. Someone that you had already been in pictures with, remember, they had already been seen in pictures with Ghislaine Maxwell, Hillary and Bill prior to Chelsea's wedding. All of a sudden, she came to Chelsea's wedding as a plus one. Really? After Epstein had already been charged? And you didn't ask her to leave? No one went up to her and said, honestly, Ghislaine, you can't be here. Considering the charges against Jeffrey, you can't be here right now. Do you guys really believe this? I wonder if there's a way if we can get that guest list, right? I'll show you something else that Hillary Clinton said here. Let me make sure I go back to the right one. Hold on. Again, she says she never met him.
I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance, but whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. I never
Listen closely. Again, she says she never met him, but she also says something else.
met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance.
So now all of a sudden, Ghislaine Maxwell becomes an acquaintance, just casually, just an acquaintance. Now she goes on to say, not only did she never meet Jeffrey Epstein, but she had no communication with Jeffrey Epstein, no contact with Jeffrey Epstein. So now it goes further. So let's look a little bit deeper, folks, and let's see what's going on here. Okay. So let's go ahead and debunk this lie. Did you guys know that Hillary Clinton invited Jeffrey Epstein to a fundraiser in 2015? See, this is in the files. This was even shown on CNN. You can't make this up. I would like to invite you to attend a very intimate fundraising event with Hillary Clinton from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. This email is from, I think this is Leslie Goff. The Cantor Fitzgerald, they don't know how to spell. The Cantor Fitzgerald offices in November. Please RSVP. So this was again, 2015. 2015. Let's go to another one. Because again, we got some things to show you. This is from Nina K to Jeffrey Epstein. This was 2012. Look at what she said in this email. And actually, you know what? We'll go to the file as well to show you it. But here's a bigger screenshot that you can see here. Check this out. Nina K wrote this on January 6, 2012 to Jeffrey Epstein. I just left his place and he knew about the 17th date. He said the 17th is a perfect date. Apparently, Hillary Clinton would also be there the same day as you. And I guess you know her pretty well. So here we go from Hillary saying no communication, no contact, and Nina K making it very clear that they knew each other pretty well. It goes on to say here, also concerning Paris, actually, we'll go to the link for that so you guys can see the rest of that here. So again, in the Epstein files, so she says that bit there about Hillary Clinton, and then let me show you his response here. So there's the Hillary Clinton part. You know her very well. So he goes on to say, make sure I got this part right here. Oh, let me go up. Sorry. Sometimes these are kind of, did I jump ahead? Oh, here we go. This is what he responded to her. Let's do Paris on the 27th. I will take you with me. From New York. I think he meant from New York. Then if you want, we can stay and do nice and meet him again there. The foreign minister of Kazakhstan will be at the house on the 28th. You see all the people he was hanging out with? I do not want to be there the same day as Hillary. This is confirmed now. So this is Jeffrey Epstein saying here that he does not want to be there the same day as Hillary. Now, check this out. As we go further, we go back up to the top. Jeffrey, this is going to be tough because I already told him that you'll come and I really don't know what to say anymore. You won't meet her and he doesn't know that you know each other. Hold up. You won't meet her and he doesn't know that you know each other. But according to Hillary Clinton, she didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. 2012. We'll go back to that thread here. Let's continue on. Epstein's exact words, I do not want to be there the same day as Hillary. This is confirmed now. Goes on to say here. Go to 4. Oliver Cullum, writing from a group Edmund D. Rothschild email, is asking Epstein directly, could you organize a discreet meeting between Sarko and Hillary Clinton in New York? Here we go again. Here's the email. Now, this is 2013. Could you organize the meeting right here? Jeffrey responds and said, meetings with Hillary are not easily discreet. Notice Jeffrey Epstein never says he does not know Hillary. He cannot contact Hillary. He doesn't have any communication with Hillary. His response is Hillary meetings are not discreet. Why would this person email Jeffrey Epstein and ask him to get a meeting with Hillary if he didn't know her? That's like someone asking me, Sabby, can you get an interview with, I don't know, what's his name? Sabby, can you get an interview with Joe Budden? My response would be, I don't know Joe Budden. I have no contact information for Joe Budden. My response wouldn't be, meetings with Joe Budden are not discreet. It goes on to say here, let's go on because he really followed it. Read that again. Epstein did not say, I don't know her. You don't ask a stranger to broker a secret meeting between a former French president and a former secretary of state. Here's another one. Epstein emails JP Morgan, Jess Staley, who was all throughout the Epstein files, that Israeli Defense Minister Ehud Barak, fresh from meeting Secretary Clinton at the White House, is heading to Epstein's house at 8 a.m. This is probably one of the more damning ones right here. This is 2011. From Jeff to Jess. Call me at home, New York. Defense Minister Ehud Barak met with U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. U.S. Defense Secretary Robert Gates. U.S. National Security Advisor Tom Donilon. The list goes on and on. It goes on to say, at the White House Wednesday, where they emphasized the U.S. commitment to Israel's security and its qualitative military edge in the region. According to a press release, Barack met with U.S. officials for an hour and 15 minutes, during which time they discussed events in Egypt, Lebanon, Tunisia, and Turkey, and as the status of negotiations with the Palestinians. See how Jeffrey Epstein is even talking about the Palestinians? You see how involved this guy was? The top U.S. officials also expressed their expectations that Israel would move forward in negotiations with the Palestinians. Prior to his meeting at the White House, Barack also met with leaders of Congress, including U.S. House Minority Leader Eric Cantor and U.S. House Minority Whip Steny Hoyer. All about aid to Israel. If you go back at the top, it said, "I told you this was crazy. His next stop is this morning at my house, 8 a.m. for a couple of hours." But according to Hillary, she didn't know him. Like I told you, hidden in plain sight. We're calling out names tonight. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation employee emails Epstein casually. "Hey, Hillary Clinton is much prettier in person." So here we go again. 2011. This is her emailing Jeffrey Epstein. He is asking her, "No problem. Let's go for a walk when you are finished with Eva," whoever Eva is. They respond, "High heels. Walk, not a good idea. You could carry me. Does blank live close to you? Hey, Hillary Clinton is much prettier in person." But she don't know him. And this ain't the first time, because Hillary has been known to run cover for Bill Clinton. I want to remind you of Hillary running cover for Bill Clinton.
What role, if any, did you play in criticizing the character of the women who have accused Bill of sexual misconduct?
None. If somebody's willing to pay you $130,000 or $170,000 to say something, and you get your 15 minutes of fame, and you get your picture on the front page of every newspaper, and you're some failed cabaret singer who doesn't even have much of a resume to fall back on, and what's there she's lied about. That's the daughter of Willie Horton, as far as I'm.
So first of all, we got two different Hillary Clintons here. Who the hell is this woman? This is her more recently saying that no, she never spoke negatively about those women that accused Bill Clinton of assault. Yeah, remember, Bill Clinton had been accused of sexual assault before. Now, then we flash back here and you see how she was talking about those women. Also, what the hell happened to her accent? Where did this accent go?
What role, if any, did you play in criticizing the character of the women who have accused Bill of sexual misconduct?
None. If somebody's willing to pay you $130,000 or $170,000 to say something, and you get your 15 minutes of fame, and you get your picture on the front page of every newspaper, and you're some failed cabaret singer who doesn't even have much of a resume to fall back on, and what's there she's lied about. That's the daughter of Willie Horton, as far as I'm concerned.
What role, if...
So, Hillary Clinton, isn't she from Chicago? Where did that accent come from? What is happening here? But this just goes to show you how she's been known to lie to protect Bill Clinton. Now, Bill Clinton hasn't testified yet, but that should be a doozy. This is the same guy that sat up there and told everybody that he did not have sexual relations with that woman, but he did. Also, we go back to this event in 2015. Howard Lutnick hosted a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Now he's Trump's Secretary of Commerce. How can we forget? All these people know each other. Okay? Now you hear Hillary Clinton calling out Donald Trump and saying Trump needs to testify. Yes, he does. Donald Trump should have to testify as well. Melania should also have to testify, especially considering she was Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend before she was dating Donald Trump. So it's not being done fair. It's being done in a partisan way. But at the same time, why isn't Hillary Clinton saying Howard Lutnick needs to go to jail? Because they all run in the same circle. We going to show you here. Shout out to Gen X girl, Israel Uniparty, who's your sugar mama. Don't forget, you had Miriam Adelson, who donated millions to Donald Trump, was also hosting this pro-Israel summit in New York with Hillary Clinton. Let me tell you something, folks. Money is bipartisan. Imagine that. We go on to see here, because it's not just Hillary. Everything is starting to fall apart. Everything's starting to fall apart. Bill Gates right now is now officially apologizing to his staff at his foundation, saying he's sorry and that he cheated on Melinda with a couple of Russian women. I don't think people are looking to see if you cheated on your wife, Bill. People are looking to see if you did something with those underage girls. If you were involved in any criminality. He's coming out issuing a policy. People are saying that Bill Gates needs to step down. And we take you back to what he just said just a couple of days ago. I ain't meet no women.
Jeffrey wrote an email to himself. That email was never sent. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior. Jeffrey.
So Bill Gates, which I told you at that time that he was lying, you see for yourself. That's why he's coming out issuing apologies now. We got Larry Summers crashing out. Larry Summers resigns from Harvard over Epstein ties. Harvard told CBS Summers will retire at the end of the year, but in the meantime, he will remain on leave. Harvard launched an investigation into the students who filmed Summers apologizing for his Epstein connection. Here it is right here.
Some of you will have seen my statement of regret, expressing my shame with respect to what I did in communication with Mr. Epstein, and that I've said that I'm going to step back from public activities for a time, but I think it's very important to fulfill my teaching obligations. And so, with your permission, we're going to go forward and talk about the material in class.
They just keep dropping left and right. Dropping left and right, ladies and gentlemen. I also saw the CEO of the World Economic Forum also resigned. But resigning is not enough. These people need to be thrown in jail. Larry Summers, this is a big one. You really can't deny this one, Mr. Larry, because here you are with Jeffrey Epstein on that infamous purple couch of the picture. This is the picture we all use a lot of times of Jeffrey Epstein where he's by himself in that solo shot. But that's that purple couch and that's that damn polo. What you probably did not know is who was on the other side of Jeffrey Epstein. And you have Larry Summers right here and there's Alan Dershowitz. Yeah, he's one of the ones that really can't hide that. So, Hillary, you're not telling the truth, honey. And people are already calling her out on social media. The moment she made her statement, they were calling her out. But a lot of the things that I just showed you were actually there. It was just hidden in plain sight. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.